Good afternoon, Riverside. Today we're going to talk about cafeteria behavior. We need to remember to respect everyone in the cafeteria, respect education, and respect the environment. Respecting everyone means being polite, being a good bystander, and what that really means is if somebody needs some help, help them out. Maybe somebody needs you to help them pick something up off the floor, or if you see another student that's picking on another student, help that other student out and let an adult know or something like that. But if you just let that go on, you're not being a good bystander because you're ignoring the problem and the problem won't go away. Keep your hands and feet to yourselves. Respecting education means being kind when standing in line, following staff directions. If they ask you to do something, they probably have a reason for it, so it would be nice if you could follow those directions. Listen to the announcements. Respecting the environment means clean up after yourselves. If you drop something, you pick it up. If you leave something on the table, you need to pick it up. Recycling means we have a lot of different things that we can recycle here at RMS. We have a really good recycling program, and we need to make sure that we recycle the things that we can recycle to help out in the environment and with our world around us. Valuing school property means taking care of the tables, the chairs, the floor, everything that the school is a part of the school. We need to take care of that. This next video is going to be Mr. Stocks talking about what his take on the rules and expectations of the cafeteria is. He's going to give us a little synopsis. A couple things I want us all to remember is that we expect students to pick up after themselves, we expect them to go into line, and we expect them to be in one single line, get their food, find a seat. When they're done, they need to raise their hand. Once you raise your hand, a staff member will dismiss you. When it's time to go outside or to the gym, we expect you to raise your hand once again, quietly get in line, you don't need to push, and then you'll be excused to one of those two areas. Let's see what Mr. Stocks has to say.
Hi, Hermes. I'm here with Mr. Stocks. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good, Sophie.
I'm gonna ask you some questions. Is that okay?
Okay.
First, what are your expectations for the cafeteria?
Expectations during lunch in the cafeteria. Kids will walk in the cafeteria, get in line, and get their trays, sit down and eat, mingle with their friends a little bit. When they're done eating, they're supposed to raise their hands and be excused, dump their tray out, stack it up nicely, and then go back to their spot and sit down.
What do you notice that we do good in the cafeteria?
Most of the students do a pretty good job waiting in line and getting their food, getting their condiments, and then sitting down and eating. I think it runs pretty good in the first 15-20 minutes, usually pretty good in the cafeteria.
What do you notice that the 6th graders do poorly at?
Well, later on, sometimes kids will drop things, and maybe they don't know what's there, and that's understandable, but sometimes I think it's getting a little messy, things left on the table, maybe not cleaning up after themselves, a little too much. I think usually about the last 10 minutes gets a little noisy too. I think the beginning's pretty good, everyone's eating, but the last 10 minutes, it's a little loud sometimes. See some kids moving around, they're not supposed to. When you're at a table, just stay with the table you're at. If something you need to go somewhere else, just ask. If a kid say, hey, can I move over there instead? I'll probably say yes. So you can just ask first would be best.
How do you think they can improve those things?
Well, raise their hand, making sure when they leave that everything they brought with them is on the tray. Sometimes making sure that something doesn't fly off the tray like a wrapper and then falls on the ground. Just kind of staying put where you're supposed to be. Unless dismissed if you're going outside or going to the gym, playing dodgeball, wherever that happen to be going. Kind of stay put in your area unless you're excused by an adult.
Thank you, Mr. Stocks. Hope you have a good day.
You're welcome. You too, Sophie.
These students are just about ready for lunch. They look like they're ready to eat some food. Before they can do that, we want to hear a little bit from Mr. Watts. He's going to explain the recycling program that we started last year where students are going to recycle their milk cartons. It's a really important piece of the recycling program here at RMS. And remember, we also need to recycle all that food products like the apple cores or oranges, fruits, vegetables, that type of thing for the sheep. And once again, if you have paper products or plastic products, those also go in the recycling bins as well. Mr. Watts here is going to talk about those milk cartons.
Well, good afternoon. I'm here to talk about the cafeteria and some of the things that are going on in there. I think the first thing I should be bringing up is the idea of our behaviors in there. It's still way too noisy. I think all of us would probably agree to that. Your signal on when to be quiet is the hand going up. And if everybody raises their hands, that would be a signal for you to stop talking at that point. It's, for us in the 7th grade lunch, it's taking way too long to be quiet. And students lose their privileges when that happens. As far as the overall cleanliness of the cafeteria, it's actually pretty good, but we're going to be doing some things a little bit differently in regards to that with the cafeteria and recycling. Most of you have been participating in the dropping the produce, the food, into the white square buckets, and that has been taken to a farm and fed to sheep and to pigs on occasion. So it's not going into landfill. And we're keeping, again, around 2,000 to 4,000 pounds of garbage, which is actually edible garbage, out of the landfills so animals can eat it. So for the most part, you guys are doing pretty well with that. The other thing was the packaged apples. We're seeing more of that, so make sure you open those up and dump the apples into the container. A lot of you are doing that, but some of you are not, and I have to go through those buckets and clean them out. Some of you are also throwing garbage into them. I'm pulling out a yogurt container almost every single day and other things. I would really appreciate not having to do that every single day to pull that out. It is kind of gross. The thing that we're going to be adding in, with the video that you have either seen or are going to see is about recycling milk cartons. And we're going to be putting out a few of these little posters. And these posters are going to go out to remind us that we need to do a few things. Milk cartons are made out of a pristine paper. It's the first use paper. Since they make food quality material out of it, it has to be really clean. So this is the highest quality paper that's available out there, and the city can get an awfully good price for this material. But they have to be taken care of in a certain way. The problem is if they get moldy or they're too sticky, they can't do anything with them because it'll ruin the paper itself. So when you get the milk carton like this, what we want you to do is to open it fully. So if you just take that, when you open it, just pull it on both ends. It'll open it up completely to a square, like you see right there. And then you'll be dumping it out into a bucket. Okay, usually we're putting them into these buckets right now, so you might be seeing these around. And there should be a funnel sitting on top of that. And on that funnel, this tray will be sitting like so. Okay? Then what we want you to do is that once you've dumped your milk into a container, these will be put on top, and the excess milk will be going down. Once this tray is filled, we'll take it off, dump it into a blue bin, and then we'll just simply replace it with another container. So when it looks like that, we'll be removing it, and we'll be replacing it with an empty one. All right, and it's going to slow us down a little bit, but you'll get used to doing it. And that way we can put these milk cartons into a big blue bin. The city will pick it up every day, and we can keep that from going into the landfill as well. And if we can start making enough of an effort to do that, the city will actually give us some money for the paper products that they're getting from it, because it's such a good quality paper, it's in high demand. And ideally this would be great to expand to the other schools. Okay, so I appreciate you taking your time to help us out with recycling. These resources are yours as much as anyone else's, and we should be conserving them as much as we can. All right, so you have a good day and do your best in that cafeteria. Thanks.
This last short video clip is going to show us how to get in the line, go through the line, get our food, and have a seat. Notice these kids in this still picture that you're looking at have their hands up. That's indicating they want to go, and maybe they want to put their food away, maybe they want to head out to the recess. But once again, respecting everyone, make sure your hand is up and an adult releases you.
3, 2, 1, go.